Hello, I'm Ethan, and today I'm reviewing 1917. Now, there might be something different. You can hear my audio quality sounds better, hopefully. What I've been doing, or what I am doing, is dubbing over all of the audio that I record here on my phone after making the video. So the audio you're hearing now is not actually what I said. Well, it is technically what I said, but I'm basically listening to myself and speaking into a higher quality microphone and dubbing it over. I hope this works well, and if it does, I might continue doing it.
Yeah, I tried it. It sucked. I'm obviously not doing it now, but it was like all out of sync. I tried hard. I did not realize how hard lip syncing would be. So yeah, enjoy the crappy echo chamber.
The reason I'm doing this is because due to the CORONAVIRUS, YouTube doesn't like you saying that word from what I've heard. Like I've seen people complaining that their videos get taken down because they said it. Because they said it. So due to it, I can't buy a quality microphone off Amazon. It'll be like a month to 2 months before it actually gets here. So I think that this is a good alternative. Anyway, so 1917 was directed by Sam Mendes and came out in, I think it was December, which means I'm about 4 months too late. Whatever. So it follows the story of two soldiers in World War I, and what they have to do is they have an order to tell a different battalion several miles away that their advancement, their attack has been canceled and called off because they realize that it's a trap by the Germans. Unfortunately, they only have two soldiers and I think less than a day to get there and warn them. So I want to start out with one of the most noteworthy things I saw in this film, and that was the cinematography. I counted 2 to 3 cuts in the whole movie. Now, there were likely more and, played off through editorial tricks, but it was just done so well, it looks like it's all one continuous shot. For example, it starts off, they're walking in the trenches, the camera's panning away from them, it stops while they have a conversation, they go into a building, the camera follows them into the building, adjusts through the light, follows them all the way out of the trenches, all the way through the fields, all the way through like half the movie until there's a time transition, and then it follows them all the way through the movie again. And I think a lot of the effects were practical. I've never wanted to see a behind the scenes for a film so bad. I've actually read that the camera swapping was so fast that they had to have crew members dressed in costume actually in the scenes ready to just grab the camera when they could. Is real fascinating. Like I said, I definitely want to see behind the scenes. So the cinematography was done well as all the costumes and the set pieces and everything. It looked amazing. It really did look like how I imagine World War I is. I can't speak for the accuracy. I'm not a history buff on that subject or in general. But it definitely did feel like World War I. The acting was done really well. It was mostly just two people going on their journey throughout like a good chunk of the movie. It was just those two or maybe two others just talking back and forth with one another. It felt really natural. It was done well. And there was even a twist in there that I did not expect. I won't, of course I won't say what it is. It's a spoiler, but it definitely threw a curveball at you. And for a war movie, there was a surprisingly low amount of battle scenes. I think that there was 2 or 3 scenes in total, and even then, 2 of them, the really impactful scenes, but they only last like 3 to 5 minutes. It's almost like he made a war movie without there actually being a war in shot. I mean, of course, there were war settings, but it doesn't feel like what's the movie? Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan, real great movie, has a similar-ish premise. They've got the small company and they've got to travel across Europe, but they have a lot of big action scenes. I think D-Day at the beginning was like 20 minutes in that. I wouldn't say there's anything like that in this film. And like I've said plenty of times, that's really interesting path for a war movie to take. It almost sounds like I'm saying it's boring, but it's not. It's a really good character-driven piece, and I think that this is one of the movies that can be considered art. It is actually based on a real story. I think it was Sam Mendes' grandfather, father, something like that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it is based on a true story, so that's always good to see. But I really think that this is cinema. I'm going to sound a little pretentious here, but I think that this movie is a lot better than a lot of other ones that are appearing in theaters. I feel like a lot of modern films tend to be towards the I want to make money, let's do this route. Like a lot of the Marvel movies, I mean, they're good, but you have to admit it's just a franchise they see from the comics. They tweak the story a little bit to fit their 2-hour time slot and their narrative that they want to show, and they make a bunch of money from that. And that's a lot of Disney movies, really. Overall, there was not too much wrong with this film, but there's just something holding it back from being a 10 out of 10. I think that it's a great cinematography, the acting was all great, the set pieces, the design, the story, the characters, everything. But I think my overall enjoyment of it was a 9 out of 10. And that's about all I have to say on the topic. See ya.